The full moon has fascinated humanity for thousands of years, captivating poets, scholars, and spiritual seekers alike. It is not just a beautiful celestial body, it's a profound symbol of transformation, reflection, and awakening. In various cultures and spiritual traditions, the full moon marks a time of heightened awareness and deeper connection with both the universe and our inner selves. In the esoteric realm, the full moon is not just seen as an astronomical event but as a powerful moment where energies reach their peak, where our subconscious desires and unresolved emotions rise to the surface, and where the veil between the physical and the spiritual becomes almost translucent. It's a time when introspection and spiritual practices can lead to profound personal revelations. Our journey today will not only delve into the spiritual and mystical aspects of the full moon, but also weave in scientific insights, blending the ancient with the modern. Together, we will explore the rituals practiced during this lunar phase, rituals that harness the moon's energy to cleanse, manifest, and align ourselves with the universe. We will also touch upon how modern science has begun to understand the moon's influence on human emotions and behavior. This video is an invitation to connect more deeply with yourself and the cosmos, to embrace the mysteries that lie within the light of the full moon, and to uncover the wisdom it offers to those willing to listen. So, take a deep breath, allow your mind to open, and let the moonlight guide us on this journey of transformation and self-discovery. The spiritual significance of the full moon. Throughout human history, the full moon has held a profound spiritual significance that transcends cultures, beliefs, and time itself. It has always been more than just a celestial phenomenon. To the spiritually attuned, the full moon is a luminous gateway, a moment when energies reach their zenith, allowing us to peer into the deepest corners of our subconscious. In the world of esoteric astrology, the full moon represents a culmination of cycles. It's the peak of energy, the moment when our intentions, set during the new moon, blossom and come to fruition. It reveals the hidden, illuminates the unseen, and brings to the surface the emotions we often keep buried. Just as the moon reflects the sun's light, it also mirrors our innermost feelings, amplifying them to a degree that can be both beautiful and overwhelming. When the full moon rises, it acts as a mirror to our soul, reflecting not just light, but also the subconscious patterns that govern our emotions. It's a time to acknowledge our shadows, confront our fears, and embrace our vulnerabilities with a gentle, accepting heart. This is the essence of transformation, not through force, but through awareness and acceptance. Across different spiritual traditions, the full moon holds unique yet interconnected meanings. In Wiccan practices, it is revered as a time of powerful rituals, where practitioners harness lunar energy to cleanse, manifest, and protect. It is a sacred phase for spellwork, divination, and setting clear intentions. The moon's glow is thought to charge not only the body but the spirit, bringing heightened intuition and deeper spiritual awareness. In Chinese culture, the full moon is much more than just a phase in the lunar cycle. It is synonymous with completeness, unity, and family reunion. Festivals such as the Mid-Autumn Festival celebrate the moon's fullness as a symbol of togetherness and harmony. Families gather under the moonlight, sharing stories, food, and memories, while reflecting on the importance of being whole, within ourselves and with our loved ones. Buddhism, on the other hand, perceives the full moon as a moment of profound spiritual reflection. It marks significant events in the life of the Buddha, like his enlightenment and his first teachings. Monks and practitioners often engage in meditative practices, using the moon's calm and serene presence as a mirror to the quietude within. The moon serves as a gentle reminder to reflect on one's path, cultivate inner peace, and embrace enlightenment through mindfulness. Throughout the ages, ancient cultures have believed that the moon holds a mysterious connection to human consciousness. It is seen as a celestial mirror, reflecting our deepest emotions and subconscious states. As the moon waxes and wanes, so do our thoughts, feelings, and desires, subtly influenced by its gravitational and spiritual pull. Have you ever found yourself feeling unusually emotional or restless during a full moon? You are not alone. For centuries, people have reported heightened sensitivity, vivid dreams, and emotional turbulence during this phase. Could it be that the moon's gravitational force, pulling at the tides, also tugs at our inner oceans. Our feelings, our instincts, our very soul. The moon doesn't just influence the waters of the earth. It influences the waters within us, the fluidity of our thoughts and the ebb and flow of our feelings. Understanding this connection allows us to navigate our inner landscape with greater grace, especially during the full moon, when emotions tend to surge. The spiritual significance of the full moon is, therefore, not just about external illumination but about internal clarity. It is a call to pause, to breathe, and to embrace the fullness of our experience without resistance. In this moment of heightened awareness, we are invited to let go of what no longer serves us, to release the burdens we carry, and to embrace the transformative power of letting go. Esoteric rituals to harness full moon power. There is a timeless belief that the full moon is a powerful amplifier of spiritual energy, and countless traditions around the world have embraced rituals to harness this force. Engaging in these practices is not just an act of reverence but a journey toward personal transformation, one that aligns us with the natural cycles of the universe. One of the most cherished and widely practiced rituals during the full moon is the creation of moon water. This ritual, simple yet profoundly effective, is rooted in the idea that water, as a conduit of energy, absorbs the moon's luminous power, becoming a vessel of transformation and healing. To perform this ritual, choose a clear, open space where the moonlight can touch your vessel. Use a jar or a bowl, preferably made of glass, to allow the moon's energy to penetrate deeply. As you place the container under the moonlight, take a moment to set a clear, heartfelt intention, whether it's peace, abundance, healing, or clarity. Speak it softly or in your mind, feeling the weight of your words merge with the moonlit water. Allow the water to sit throughout the night, bathing in the moon's glow, absorbing its energy and purifying properties. In the morning, this water becomes a sacred elixir, charged with the moon's essence. You can drink it to internalize peace, bathe with it to cleanse your spirit, or sprinkle it around your space to dispel negativity. I recall the story of a young woman who felt overwhelmed and trapped in a cycle of negative thoughts. One evening, guided by a sense of inner calling, she prepared moon water for the first time. As she drank it the next morning, she whispered her intentions for inner calm and strength. Each time she performed this ritual, she felt more centered and resilient, as if the moon itself had become her ally in personal growth. Another powerful practice is full moon meditation. This is the time to quiet the mind and align the soul with lunar energy, allowing the moon's calming presence to guide us inward. Choose a quiet spot, preferably outdoors, where you can feel the moon's light touch your skin. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, imagine the moonlight filling your body, cleansing and illuminating every part of your being. Let your thoughts drift like clouds, not holding on to any emotion or tension. Feel the lunar energy wrapping you in a cocoon of serenity and introspection. With each breath, allow the light to soothe your spirit and enhance your intuition, opening a pathway to deeper self-awareness. Many people find that during full moon meditations, insights flow more freely, as if the moon is whispering ancient truths directly to their soul. This practice is not just about relaxation, but about accessing the quiet wisdom that often lies buried beneath daily distractions. The full moon is also an ideal time to charge crystals, amplifying their innate properties. Crystals, like water, are known to absorb and hold energy. Placing them under the moonlight rejuvenates their vibrancy, filling them with lunar power. Choose stones that resonate with your intentions. Rose quartz for love, amethyst for clarity, or citron for manifestation. As you arrange them under the sky, speak or think of your desires, linking each crystal with a purpose. Allow the moonlight to permeate the stones, reawakening their strength. The next morning, these crystals will feel more vibrant, ready to aid you on your journey. One of the most therapeutic full moon rituals is emotional journaling. This practice allows you to channel the heightened feelings of the lunar phase into words, releasing burdens and inviting growth. Find a quiet corner, light a candle, and write freely, without judgment or restraint. Pour your emotions onto the page, whether they are hopes, fears, or longings. Reflect on how far you have come since the last full moon. Consider the patterns that have shaped your experiences and write down what you wish to let go of. This act of acknowledgement is a powerful step toward transformation. Conclude your journaling with a positive affirmation or a simple goal, sealing your intentions with gratitude. There's a story of a man who struggled with self-doubt and found solace in writing under the full moon. At first, his words were heavy with fear, but as he continued, his thoughts softened, and a new sense of courage emerged. Through each ritual, he peeled away layers of insecurity, replacing them with quiet confidence. Performing these rituals is not about performing miracles, but about creating sacred moments for the soul to breathe and grow. Each practice is a step toward reclaiming your energy, purifying your thoughts, and honoring the natural rhythms of life. The scientific perspective. While the full moon has long been celebrated for its spiritual significance, it is equally fascinating to consider the scientific perspective on how it might influence human emotions. Throughout history, people have noticed that their mood and energy often fluctuate during the full moon. This connection between lunar phases and human behavior has inspired countless myths, stories, and even superstitions. But are these changes real, or are they just a reflection of our collective imagination? Modern science has sought to understand whether the moon truly has an impact on our emotions. One of the most discussed aspects is the idea that the full moon affects sleep patterns. Several studies have reported that people tend to experience sleep disturbances when the moon is at its peak. This observation raises a profound question: is it possible that the moon's energy subtly influences our rest, making our minds more active and our sleep more fragmented? One compelling theory proposes that the moon's gravitational pull, which governs the tides of our oceans, might also influence the water content within the human body. Since our bodies are composed of approximately 60% water, it is conceivable that the gravitational forces during a full moon could subtly affect our physiological state, leading to heightened emotions and restlessness. Yet, science remains divided on this theory. While the gravitational pull can move vast bodies of water, its effect on the comparatively small amount of water within the human body is considered minimal by many researchers. Still, the question lingers: if the moon can influence the Earth's oceans, could it not also influence the subtle tides within us? Another possible explanation lies in psychology rather than physics. Cultural beliefs and long-held traditions have embedded the notion that the full moon influences human behavior. This cultural conditioning may create a form of expectation where people unconsciously align their emotions and actions with the lunar cycle. In essence, it may not be the moon itself, but our belief in its power that shapes our experience. To investigate these claims, a notable study conducted by the University of Basel revealed intriguing insights. Researchers found that during the full moon phase, participants took an average of 5 minutes longer to fall asleep and experienced a 30% reduction in deep sleep. This phenomenon hints at a biological response, but scientists remain cautious, emphasizing that the relationship between the moon and human behavior is complex and not entirely understood. Still, the question remains: are we truly responding to an external force from the moon, or are we subconsciously tuning our emotions to align with an age-old narrative? It's fascinating to consider whether the changes we feel are genuinely physical or shaped by centuries of human belief and storytelling. Reflect for a moment. Have you ever noticed a shift in your own mood or sleep during a full moon? Whether grounded in science or rooted in tradition, the belief in the moon's power continues to shape our perception. Perhaps it is less about proving its effect and more about understanding how deeply this celestial body resonates with our collective consciousness. Storytelling, personal transformation through full moon rituals. There was once a young artist who had always found solace in her craft, painting vibrant canvases that reflected her innermost dreams and emotions. Yet, as time passed, she found herself entangled in a web of creative blocks. It was as if the colors that once danced freely from her brush had dulled, and no matter how hard she tried, inspiration seemed to slip through her fingers like water. The frustration grew, and she felt lost, questioning whether her passion had faded or if something deeper was at play. One evening, as the full moon hung heavy and luminous in the night sky, she stumbled upon an article about moon rituals, practices that had been honored for centuries to release old energies and invite transformation. Intrigued, she decided to give it a chance, feeling a spark of curiosity reignite within her. That night, She prepared her space with gentle candlelight, a bowl of water, and her favorite crystal. She sat cross-legged on the floor, closed her eyes, and allowed herself to breathe in the calmness of the moment. As the moonlight filtered through the window, she whispered her intentions: to let go of self-doubt, to embrace creativity without fear, and to trust the flow of her artistic spirit. Each month, she continued to practice these simple rituals, and with each passing full moon, she noticed subtle yet profound changes within herself. Creativity flowed with more ease, and her brushstrokes regained their vibrancy. Her art once again became a reflection of her heart's deepest desires, and the heaviness that had once clouded her mind seemed to dissipate. One evening, as she stood back to admire her latest work, a canvas filled with bold colors and intricate details that seemed to pulse with life, she realized how the rituals had done more than just restore her creativity. They had helped her rediscover herself, rekindling the passion that had always been within but was buried beneath layers of doubt and fear. The full moon had become her guide, not just in art but in life itself, teaching her to embrace transformation and the ebb and flow of inspiration. The power of the moon does not solely reside in its light but in how we choose to connect with it. Sometimes, it's not the celestial body that changes us, but the way we use its presence to heal, transform, and awaken parts of ourselves that have long been forgotten. The moon becomes a mirror, reflecting not just the sky but the soul's deepest yearning for growth and creativity. Inspirational message. There's something profoundly beautiful about the full moon. A celestial presence that doesn't just illuminate the sky but also serves as a gentle guide for our souls. It stands as a quiet reminder that even in the vast darkness, there exists a light that never fails to appear. In that soft, glowing embrace, we are encouraged to reflect, to pause, and to allow the essence of stillness to touch our hearts. The full moon teaches us that just as it waxes and wanes, life too has its cycles. Moments of growth, moments of release. It whispers to us that it's okay to let go of what no longer serves us, that shedding old habits or heavy emotions is not a loss but a liberation. In the act of releasing, we create space for something new, something beautiful to emerge from within. As the full moon reaches its peak, it symbolizes a culmination, a time when our deepest emotions surface, urging us to face them with honesty and compassion. It's a time to acknowledge what we've been holding on to, grudges, regrets, fears, and to gently set them free like leaves carried away by the wind. The light of the full moon is not just an external glow but a metaphor for the light within us. The resilience, the hope, the quiet strength that carries us through our darkest nights. It teaches us that in every ending there is a promise of a new beginning, just as the moon, after waning, will inevitably wax again. Let us remember that the moon's journey across the sky mirrors our own path of self-discovery. We, too, can embrace the ebb and flow of change, knowing that just as the moon transforms, we are also given countless chances to start anew. It's not the perfection of the light that matters, but the courage to rise despite the darkness. If you've ever noticed a surge of emotions during the full moon, perhaps feeling more introspective or unusually restless, take it as an invitation to explore the deeper layers of your soul. Don't just let that energy pass by unnoticed. Channel it, use it, and let it be the catalyst for positive change in your life. Try one of the rituals we've discussed. Whether it's creating moon water, meditating under the lunar glow, or simply reflecting on your journey. And allow yourself to experience the subtle yet profound shifts it brings. The next time the full moon graces the sky, take a moment to connect, to be still, and to listen to what your inner self has to say. You might be surprised by how much clarity emerges when you align with the moon's light. These rituals are not just acts. They are pathways to a deeper understanding of yourself and the universe. I encourage you to share your own experiences with the full moon. Have you ever felt its influence on your emotions or thoughts? Have you tried any rituals that left a lasting impact on your well-being? Let's create a space for sharing and growth in the comments. Your story might just inspire someone else to begin their own journey. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel. There's so much more to explore when it comes to spiritual practices, self-discovery, and connecting with the universe. Together, we'll continue to unravel the mysteries of the soul, one insight at a time. Join us on this path toward inner transformation and wisdom. The full moon is more than just a luminous sphere in the sky. It's a mirror reflecting our innermost truths, a guide reminding us that transformation is possible if we are willing to embrace change. Through ancient rituals and modern reflections, we learn to connect with that energy and let it illuminate our lives. We've explored the spiritual significance, the rituals, and even the scientific perspectives behind this celestial phenomenon. Whether you are drawn to the esoteric meanings or the grounded scientific insights, the message remains the same. The full moon invites you to reflect, to release, and to renew. It is a chance to realign your spirit and embrace the cycles of change with grace and awareness. As you continue on your path, remember that the full moon's light doesn't just illuminate the sky, it illuminates your spirit. Let it be a gentle reminder to keep growing, to keep questioning, and to keep seeking the light within.